Good morning, students. Today I am going to explain about SPI. What is meant by SPI means Serial Peripheral Interface. In the last class, I have explained about I2C bus. In the first unit, I have explained about the serial communication. So first, what is meant by SCA? SPA is a communication protocol. It is used to transfer data between two devices. For example, if you want to transfer data from Arduino microcontroller to data card, or if I want to transfer data from RF card reader to Arduino, or otherwise from ADC to Arduino, or otherwise if you want to transfer data from memory to Arduino or Arduino to memory, or RTC to Arduino controller, like this. If you want to transfer data between two devices, we can use SPI. This SPI consists of one master and many slaves. So in I2C bus, we are having many master and many slaves. But in SPI, there is only one master, many slaves. Next, it is called as a synchronous communication. What is meant by synchronous communication means, if you give one clock pulse, that is enough. Continuously, we can send the data. But in I2C bus and UART, first you have to give the start bit. After that, you have to give the address. Next, you have to send the first data. Next, second data, like that you have to send. But here, it is not like that. If you give one clock pulse, after that you can continuously send the data. That is called as synchronous communication. Next one is duplex. So in the I2C bus introduction, I have explained about what is my simplex, what is my half duplex, what is meant by full duplex. So here it is called as a full duplex. Full duplex means at a time we can transfer the data from device 1 to device 2 and from device 2 to device 1. That is called as duplex. Simplex means at a time we can send data from device 1 to device 2. In half duplex means we can send data from device 1 to device 2. When we are sending data from device 1 to device 2, we cannot send data from device 2 to device 1. But in full duplex, continuously we can send data from device 1 to device 2 and device 2 to device 1. In I2C bus, we can send only 8 bits at a time. After that, we have to get the acknowledgement. After that, you have to send the second 8 bits. But here it is not like that. Continuously we can send. There is no interruption is available. So if you see I2C and UART, the data is sent in packets, limited to a specific number of bits. So one packet, 8 bits only we can send. But here you can send any number of data continuously. So here there is no interruption. Here there is no need of start bit and stop bit. So what means the speed of data transfer is very high. Next, it requires 4 lines. So what are the 4 lines? Is one is called as a master out, slave in. Next one is called as master in, slave out. Another one is called as serial clock. Another one is called as a slave select. These are the 4 pins available in the SPI. So here we are taking the one as a master, another one as a slave. So this is called as device 1 and this is called as a device 2. So 4 wires are used. The maximum speed is 10 Mbps. It is a synchronous communication. Next, serial communication. It has only one master. Next one is slaves. We can connect n number of slaves we can connect. So theoretically unlimited. Unlimited means we can connect n number of devices. When you connect more number of devices, the speed will be less and you require more number of Arduino pins. What is meant by master out, slave in? Master out means the data will be sent from master to slave device. Next one is master in, slave out means from the slave device, the data will be transferred to the master. That is called as a master in, slave out. So if you take master, slave, master is a transmitter, slave is a receiver. So from the master, the data will be transferred to slave device. That pin is called as MOSI, master out, slave in. Next one is master input, slave output. That is called as slave is act as a transmitter and master is act as a receiver. from the slave you are sending the data, it will be received by the master. Next, serial clock. So this is the clock signal. Next one is SS. SS means slave select. Suppose I am going to connect 3 slaves. So first you have to select slave 1 or slave 2 or 3. So this pin is used to select the slaves. Next, how SPI works. So it is called as a synchronous communication protocol. So first what you have to do means, first you have to give the clock signal. So when you give the clock signal, what will happen means the synchronization will happen. After that, you have to select the slave. This is the second step. Third step is you have to send the data. This is the 3 steps. Here there is no need of the fixed baud rate, because in I2C, next one is a UART. What you have to means you have to fix the baud rate. Here there is no need of the fixed baud rate. Depending on the master speed, the slave speed will adjust. Next, we are going to see about the master device and slave device. So example, you take left hand side is called as a master device, and right hand side this is called as a slave device. Inside that master device, there are 2 registers are available. One is called as a buffer register, another one is called as a shift register. So this is called as a master and this is called as a slave. Suppose I want to transmit 5 bytes of data from master to slave device. 5 bytes of data I am going to transfer from master to slave. So first what will happen means the first byte will be moved to the buffer register. This is called as an 8-bit register, and both are shift register also a 8-bit register. So first data will be received by the buffer register. This buffer register to shift register, the connection is parallel. So when I store the first byte, immediately all byte means 8 bits are called as 1 byte. So all the bytes are transmitted to the shift register. So what will happen means now the buffer will become empty. So the second byte will be moved to this buffer register. So first what will happen? First data will be moved to the buffer register. From the buffer register, it is moved to shift register. So the buffer register will become empty. So the second byte will move to the buffer register. So now if you see, the first byte is available in the shift register, second byte is available in the buffer register. Now I am going to transmit to slave device. So you see the top diagram. So this is called as an B0 to B7. B0 is LSB bit and this is called as an MSB bit. So if you give the first clock pulse, first bit will be transmitted to the slave device, A7. Next, second bit will be transmitted. So after 8 clock pulse, all these 8 bits will be transferred to the slave. So now the shift register will become empty. So from the buffer, the data will be moved to the shift register. So now the second data is moved to the shift register. So now buffer is free. So the third byte is moved to the buffer register. So like that, the data will transfer take place. Suppose I am going to transfer from slave to master means. So from the, I am having 10 byte means first byte will move to the buffer register. From the buffer register, it will move to the shift register parallelly. This is called as parallel data transfer. From the shift register, one by one, the bit will be transferred to the master shift register. So when all the 8 bits transmitted to the shift register, so this shift register will become empty. Next, from the buffer, the second byte is moved to the shift register. Next, the third byte will move to the buffer register. So like this, the data transfer takes place. Next, we are going to see about the SPI modes. So there are 4 modes are available. One is called as mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, and mode 3. So in 4 modes, I am going to explain what is meant by clock polarity and another one is called as a clock phase. So 4 modes, mode 0, 1, 2, and 3. There are 4 modes are available. First is clock polarity is 0. Next one is clock phase is 0. So both are 0 means mode 0. 0, 1 means mode 1. 1, 0 means mode 2. 1, 1 means mode 3. So what is meant by 0 mode means low to high. If you take a clock signal, first initially it will be low, next it will be high, next it will become as low. So that is called as an rising edge. From low to high means rising edge. So in mode 0, every rising edge the data transfer take place. Next, in mode 2 also, every rising edge the data transfer take place. Next, mode 1 and mode 3, every falling edge the data transfer take place. Falling means from high to low. So clock pulse, it is high, it will become too low. During that time, the data transfer take place. Next, what is meant by SCK? SCK means that is called as clock signal. So initially, mode 0, the clock signal will be low. During the data transfer, it will become as high. So first what will happen means, when the data will transfer from the clock pulse, it will become low to high. During low to high, the data transfer take place. So initially it will be high. During data transfer, it will become as high. Next one is clock polarity 0. So initially it is 0. Next it will be a high during data transfer. But the data transfer takes place from high to low. Next one is 1-0 means data transfer takes place from low to high, and the clock pulse initially it is high. Initially it is high, next it will become low during data transfer. So what you have to understand means, if the clock polarity is 0-0 means, see here first two modes it is 0. So what will happen means, the clock pulse is initially low. Next during data transfer it will become as high. Here the clock polarity is 1-1, mode 2 and 3. So initially high, during data transfer it will become as low. Next one is clock phase. See here mode 0 and mode 2, what will happen means the clock phase is 0. So what will happen means, during the rising edge the data transfer take place. Mode 1 and 3, the falling edge the data transfer take place. This is all about the 4 modes of SPI. Next, we are going to see how the communication data will transfer from one device to another device. So first thing is, this is you are taking two devices. One is called as a master, another one is called as slave. So first, the master will send the clock signal to the slave. That is the first step. Second step is, the master will select the slave. Suppose there are 3 slaves are there, means the master want to transfer the data to slave 1, means it will select the slave 1. Slave 2 means it will select the slave 2. Suppose you are having a mobile phone. In mobile phone I am having a WhatsApp number. All your WhatsApp number is available. Suppose I want to transfer one message to register number 1, means I will select the register number Abhishek contact number and I will send the data. So second one is, you have to select the slave. Third is, you are going to transmit the data. That is called as a master out, slave in, means the master will act as a transmitter and the slave will act as a receiver. From the master, we are sending the data to the slave. So that is called as master will act as a transmitter and slave will act as a receiver. What is meant by master and what is meant by slave means, master means it has the total control. If you take some 5 devices, one will act as a master, another 4 will be act as a slave. So the master only, it will initiate all the communication. If you want to transfer any data from one device to another, so the master only, it will is the main thing. So it will control the data transfer. Next one is, so now I am going to transfer the data from slave to master. So what will happen means, slave will act as a transmitter and master will act as a receiver. So you can see here, master in, slave out. So from the slave, I am going to transfer the data to master. This is the fourth step. Next one is, there are 2 type of configuration is available. First is called as an independent slave configuration. So in this example, I am taking 4 devices. One will act as a master, another one is called as a slave. So in the slave, if you see, there are 4 pins are available. One is called as a master in, slave out, master out, slave in, clock, and slave select. So slave 1, slave 2 and slave 3. There are 3 slave devices are there. And here only one master is available. So first 3 pins, one is called as a clock, next one is master out slave in, next one is master in slave out. It is connected to common to all the slave devices. First 3 pins is connected common to all the slave devices. Next, slave select 0, slave select 1, slave select 2. Because here we are having 3 pins. Because 3 slave devices are connected, so 3 pins are available. So what is the problem in this configuration means, suppose you are going to connect some 25 slave device means, we need, this is called as Arduino controller. Its master is called as an Arduino controller. So in this controller, we need 6 pins are needed if you want to connect 3 slave device. Suppose I want to connect 25 device means 25 pins plus 25 slave select pins. That is SS0 to SS25. 25 plus 3, 28 pins are needed. So that is very, very difficult. So if you connect more number of slave device, we need more number of pins. That is a disadvantage. Next, suppose I want to, there are 3 devices are there, slave 1, slave 2, slave 3. Or take master, this is a master. So master means you take myself, I am the master. I want to transfer one data to, first is called as register number 1 Abhishek, second slave device is called as Ajay, and third one is Anish Kumar student. These are 3 students are there. If I want to transfer one data to Ajay means, first I will select the SS1. So I will select the SS1 means slave select 1. So this Ajay will be enabled. So what will happen means, if I send one data, master out, slave in this pin, this is called as a transmitter pin. Here I will transmit the data. So it is sent to this particular device only, because slave 1 and slave 2 is disabled. Only the slave 2 is enabled, Ajay is enabled, so he will receive the data. Or suppose I want to transfer the data to all the 3 devices means, I want to enable slave select 0, 1 and 2. So what will happen means, all the 3 devices will receive the data. Or I need to transfer the third device means, it will select the third device. This is called as independent slave configuration. Next one is daisy chain configuration. So here, see here, the master only 4 pins is needed. Slave also 4 pins. So by using these 4 pins, we can connect n number of slave devices. So that is the advantage of this daisy chain connections. So here, what is the drawback means, the speed will be very, very low. Why the speed is very low means, you take the first device is called as Abhishek, second device is called as Ajay, the third device is called as Anish. So now I want to transfer one data to Anish. So what will happen means, from master I cannot directly send data to this Anish. So first I will send the data to the slave 1. From slave 1, it will send to the slave 2. From slave 2, it will send the data to slave 3. So what means here, the speed is very, very less. If more number of devices means, the speed will be less. But the number of pins required is in the master is less. Do you understand here? See here, master out, slave in means, so this is master is connected to only the slave 1. Next, from the slave 1, output is connected to the slave 2 input. Next, slave 2 output is connected to slave 3 input. Next, slave 3 is output is connected to the master input. So first what you have to do means, I want to send data to Ajay. So what will happen is, first I will send a command. So command means I will give the address. So I want to send data to Ajay. So what will happen is, I will send one data to the slave 1 device. It will receive the data and it will check whether and this data is belong to me or not. So it is not belong to me. So it will next send to the slave 2. The slave 2, it will receive the data and it will check whether this data is belong to me or not. So yes, it is belong to me means it will receive the data. Otherwise, it will transmit to the slave 3. So here the speed is less, but master requires less number of pins. Next, what are the advantages of this SPI? So here there is no need of the start bit and stop bit. We can transfer the data continuously. There is no interruption is available. So here there is no complicated slave addressing system like I2C. I2C means there is a 7-bit address is used. By using a 7-bit address, we can connect 128 devices, but here it is not like that. Higher data transfer rate than I2C because there is an interrupt is available. For example, start, next you have to send the address, next whether you are going to read, write, next data, next acknowledgement with acknowledgement. So what happens, the speed is less. So here it is called as a duplex. So there are 2 lines are there, master in, slave out, master out, slave in. So it is called as a duplex. But I2C, it has only 1 line, so it is called as a not a full duplex. So it is very, very simple and easily we can implement. Next one is here, it is called as already I told high speed. Only 1 master is available to support all the slave devices. Disadvantage is each additional slave requires an additional dedicated pin on master. So I had told in the independent slave connections, we need more number of slave pins. So when you connect more number of devices, so what will automatically the speed is less. So there is no flow control. Here we need 4 number of wires. In I2C and UART, there are only 2 pins are needed or 2 wires are needed. Here 4 wires are needed. And here there is no acknowledgement. What is no acknowledgement means? If I am sending some data to the slave, whether the data is received by the slave or not, we don't know. So there is no acknowledgement. Next one is here there is no error checking. So error checking means suppose I am going to send some data to the slave. So what it means, in all the slave device, when it receives the data, it will check whether there is any error is there. So here there is no error checking formality is available. So only 1 master. So there is a single master is available. In I2C, we are having multi-master. Next, this SPI is used for various applications. So memory, we can connect the memory with Arduino controller. We can interface the memory with Arduino controller using SPI. So from memory, we can transfer the data to Arduino controller. From Arduino controller, we can transfer the data to memory. We can take SD card, EEPROM, flash, ROM, any type of memory we can connect. Next, we can connect any type of sensors. Temperature sensor, pressure sensor, displacement sensor. Next one is current sensor, voltage sensor, humidity sensor, any moisture sensor, any type of sensor we can connect. So here from the sensor, you can send data to the Arduino controller. Next one is called, you can connect the camera, we can connect the touch screen, we can connect the LCD display. Next, we can connect the real-time clock. Next, we can connect the video game controller, etc. So these are the some applications of SPI.